Walters here at the U.S. Lacrosse Convention. Gonna string up a stick the way I like it, a STX Proton Power, and we're gonna raffle this off to one lucky fan. And what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna walk you through each step and exactly how I would string a stick. So number one is we're gonna string this through the top hole of the stick. I've already done it. Right now we've just made a knot in the first string, tied the first hole to the head, all right, to this top hole right here. So we've strung this mesh already to the one side of the stick. Now we're going to start to do the top. All right. Before we get into anything, one of the key things to stringing a stick is making sure everything is tight. All right. The top, the side walls, the strings have to be pulled tight. That's very important to me. All right. Number one is for this top string, if it's loose, what's going to happen is you're going to have mesh that's hanging down and it's going to hit the top of this head and just go right to the ground. All right, if you have a nice tight top mesh to this to the head, it's going to flow off the strings, and it won't catch that top of the head and pull down. So what we're going to do first is we got this string. We're going to go through the back of the head first. So we're going through the back. All right. Now we're going to go through the front of the mesh. All right. So we went through the back of the head, now through the front. And we're going to go around this string. So we're going to go around, just like this. Now we're going to go through the back of the mesh, like this, through the head, this, and then notice I've kept this loop pretty big. We're just pulling the string right through it, just like that, and pulling it tight. Again, it's got to be tight. All right. Same thing. Next hole, we're going to skip one hole of mesh and go to the second one. So it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, the fourth hole for this second hole on the top of the head. So we're here, we're going through the back, again, going through the mesh on the front side, looping it around. Now we're going through the back of the mesh, through the front of the head, keeping this loop big, pulling it right through. All right. Again, we're going to skip one hole, go to the next one. Skip one, go through the back, to the front, just like that. Again, through the mesh again, through the front of the head. At the end here, all right, so we've done the top. Now we got to go through the mesh, through this last hole. We're going through the mesh, all right, through this top hole again, because we need to connect this mesh to this sidewall now. Going here, looping it around the mesh again, and back to the same hole one last time. And just tie it tight. We're good to go. All right, so we've done the top, onto the sidewall. Probably the most important part of the stick. All right. Key to stringing a sidewall, all my sticks that I use, is that I create a natural channel. All right. I've seen guys string sticks where there really is no channel at all. It's more like a big bag in the stick, just a big pocket, and the ball rolls around, and then they string a V so that they think there's a channel in the stick. All right. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to work on creating a natural channel in the mesh so that we wouldn't even have to use any shooting strings. We already have a channel in our stick. All right. And the way we do that is, again, we need to string the sidewalls as tight as we can. All right. That's probably most important. But also at about the midway point, we're going to have to go double in one of these holes, and I'll explain it as we go, to really create this channel in the mesh. So these are going to be tight, and then at this point we're going to string in this hole so it pulls it down and we create that natural channel. Right. So we're going to start in the second hole on the stick and just go through the top, this next hole here. And what I do is I go through the back of the head, just like this, and then you loop it right around just like this, and pull it down. All right, so again, going through the head first, back of it, if we can get in there, all right. Go to the next hole, so you go through the front of the mesh, like this, get it in, and then through the string like this, through this hole. Just pull it as tight as you can again. Right. All right, so we've got the top down. Now again, at the midway point, just like I said, we're gonna really create this channel. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the back of the mesh here on this hole, like this. So we're going double. We're gonna go 2 holes into one sidewall. All right. Now, so we went to the back of the one. Now again, the same thing. So we're gonna go through the back of the sidewall, back of the head, through the mesh. Same step. All right. So again, at the midway point, I talked about earlier, is when we're going to skip one, and we're going to double up on one, go through the back, and then the same thing with the next hole. All right. So we create this channel. All right. As you can see, I banged through the other side. All right. So the sidewalls are done. The top's done. Last part, it's probably the easiest part of the stick, the bottom. All right. We got to connect this mesh to the bottom of the head so this ball's not popping out. All right. So with the Proton Power, it's pretty unique. There's only 2 holes at the bottom. Most heads have 4. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the string just through the hole. We're going through the back of the mesh. All right. 2 holes down, 2 groups down, and just start weaving it all the way through to the other side. All right. So we're here, just weaving it all the way through. And when you get done, this last one should go through the back to the front now. Now you're ready to put it back through this hole at the bottom, just like that. And what we're going to do is, rather than tying a basic knot, what we're going to do is just make one of these knots. I don't know what this is called. Rather than just like that. All right. Just going to pull it. I think it's a lot easier, and it won't come undone. Next step we're going to do is, so now we've got the top, the sidewalls, the bottom. All right. The mesh is in place. Now we're going to put in some shooting strings. All right. There's no right answer to where you should have your shooting strings, but just like I talked about earlier, if you can see, this is a great time to see it now without shooting strings. There is a channel in my stick, all right? Maybe from the back it's easiest to see, but you can see how the mesh is tight. You can see this channel right here, just like that. So I don't even have to have any shooting strings in here, and this ball is not going to be rolling around in my stick. It's going to stay in one place. I could probably use it right now, just like this. Wouldn't even need any shooting strings. All right, so you can see from the front, you see that channel right here, right there. So that ball is going to stay right here and just go right to the middle rather than rolling around. All right, so that's why I talked about making sure everything's tight. All right, and also at the midway points, you know, grouping two holes into one sidewall length. All right, so that's what we talked about earlier. So next step, shooting strings. With shooting strings, we're going to start on one side. Let's put it through the sidewall, the string. All right, so you have it like this, one on each side. It's pretty easy. Just start weaving it through. All right. You want them equal length, just like this. So we're going through one side, like that, and the other side right back through. All right, just like this. You can do it from the front or the back. I like to do it from the front. I've seen guys do it just like this to the back, but it's the same thing. All right. Just like that. Bam. Pull it through. Go through and then back through. All right, so we got to the other side. Again, we go through the sidewall, through the string, and just tie a knot. You're done. You're done with your shooting string.